Below is a detailed exploration of psychological facts about women, grounded in research from psychology, neuroscience, and behavioral studies. These facts highlight unique aspects of women's cognition, emotions, social behaviors, and biological influences. While acknowledging individual variation, I'll aim to keep this engaging, evidence-based, and free of stereotypes, focusing on general trends supported by science. Number 1. Women tend to be more emotionally expressive. Explanation: research consistently shows that women, on average, are more likely to express emotions openly compared to men, particularly emotions like sadness, empathy, or affection. This is partly due to socialization, where women are often encouraged to display nurturing behaviors. But there's also a biological component. Studies suggest that women's brains may have stronger connections between the amygdala, emotion center, and prefrontal cortex, decision-making, facilitating emotional expression. In Galhalekar et al. 2014. Detail: this expressiveness doesn't mean women are inherently more emotional, but rather that they're more likely to verbalize or show feelings. For example, women are more likely to cry in response to emotional stimuli, partly due to higher levels of prolactin, a hormone linked to tear production. This can make women appear more empathetic in social settings, which aligns with their tendency to prioritize communal goals, for example, relationships, cooperation, over individualistic ones. Implication: this trait can enhance women's ability to build social bonds but may also lead to societal misconceptions that they're overly emotional or less rational, which isn't supported by cognitive performance data. Number 2. Women excel in verbal and emotional intelligence. Explanation: on average, women tend to outperform men in verbal fluency, language processing, and aspects of emotional intelligence. Studies, like those by Hyde and Lin, 1988, show women have a slight edge in verbal tasks, such as reading comprehension and vocabulary. Additionally, women often score higher on measures of emotional intelligence, particularly in recognizing and interpreting nonverbal cues like facial expressions or tone of voice. Joseph and Newman, 2010. Detail: this advantage may stem from differences in brain structure, such as greater connectivity in the corpus callosum, which links the brain's hemispheres and aids in integrating verbal and emotional information. Women's higher I is also linked to their tendency to engage in tend-and-befriend behaviors under stress, a response driven by oxytocin release, which promotes social bonding and caregiving. Taylor et al. 2000. Implication: these strengths make women particularly adept in roles requiring communication, empathy, or conflict resolution, though individual variation exists, and men can also excel in these areas with training or disposition. Number 3. Women are more likely to experience anxiety and depression. Explanation: women are diagnosed with anxiety and depression at higher rates than men, with studies indicating a 2-to-1 ratio for depression. Kessler et al. 2003. This is influenced by a mix of biological, hormonal, and social factors. For instance, fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone during menstrual cycles, pregnancy, or menopause can affect serotonin and other neurotransmitters, impacting mood regulation. Details: socially, women face unique stressors, such as gender-based discrimination, caregiving responsibilities, or societal pressure to meet appearance standards, which can exacerbate mental health challenges. Women are also more likely to seek help for mental health issues, which may contribute to higher diagnosis rates. However, this openness can lead to better coping strategies over time, as women are more likely to engage in therapy or social support networks. Implication: understanding these vulnerabilities highlights the need for tailored mental health support for women, emphasizing both biological and environmental factors. Number 4. Women have a stronger social orientation. Explanation: evolutionary psychology suggests women developed a stronger focus on social relationships due to their historical roles in caregiving and group cohesion. Studies show women prioritize relational goals, such as maintaining harmony or nurturing others, over competitive or hierarchical goals. Cross and Madsen, 1997. Detail: this is reflected in behaviors like women's tendency to use more affiliative language. For example, expressing concern or agreement, and their preference for cooperative rather than competitive strategies in group settings. Neuroimaging studies indicate that women's brains show greater activation in areas like the anterior cingulate cortex when processing social cues, enhancing their ability to empathize and predict others' behaviors. Implication: this social orientation can make women particularly effective in collaborative environments but may also lead to challenges in asserting individual needs in competitive settings. Number 5. Women's brains process pain differently. Explanation: research indicates that women may experience and perceive pain more intensely than men due to differences in brain activity and hormonal influences. Philinum, 2000. Women's pain pathways, particularly those involving the limbic system, show heightened sensitivity, which may be linked to estrogen's role in modulating pain perception. Detail: women are more likely to report chronic pain conditions, such as fibromyalgia or migraines, which may be exacerbated by hormonal fluctuations. However, women also tend to have higher pain tolerance in certain contexts, for example, childbirth, possibly due to endorphin release and psychological resilience. Socially, women are more likely to discuss pain, which can aid in seeking treatment but also lead to stigma if dismissed as overreacting. Implication: this underscores the importance of gender-specific approaches in pain management and medical care, as women's symptoms may require different interventions. Number 6. Women are more risk-averse in decision-making. Explanation: studies show women tend to be more cautious in decision-making, particularly in financial or physical risk scenarios. Burns et al., 1999. This may be linked to higher activation in the prefrontal cortex, which governs impulse control and risk assessment, as well as evolutionary pressures favoring caution to protect offspring. Detail: women are more likely to weigh long-term consequences and prefer safer, more predictable outcomes. For example, in investment studies, women's portfolios often outperform men's due to lower risk strategies and less frequent trading. However, this risk aversion can sometimes limit women's willingness to pursue high reward opportunities in competitive fields. Implication: understanding this tendency can help women leverage their cautious approach as a strength while encouraging them to take calculated risks when beneficial. Number 7. Women experience stronger hormonal influences on behavior. Explanation: hormonal fluctuations across the menstrual cycle, pregnancy, and menopause significantly influence women's mood, cognition, and behavior. Estrogen and progesterone affect neurotransmitter systems, such as serotonin and dopamine, impacting everything from stress responses to memory. Sherwin, 2012. Detail: for example, during the luteal phase of the menstrual cycle, some women experience premenstrual syndrome, PMS, or premenstrual dysphoric disorder, PMDD, linked to serotonin drops. Pregnancy and postpartum periods also involve dramatic hormonal shifts, which can enhance bonding behaviors via oxytocin, but also increase vulnerability to mood disorders. Menopause-related estrogen decline can affect cognitive functions like verbal memory, though these effects vary widely. Implication: recognizing these influences can help women and healthcare providers manage symptoms and optimize well-being during hormonal transitions. Number 8. Women are more likely to multitask effectively. Explanation: while the concept of multitasking is debated, studies suggest women may have an edge in tasks requiring rapid switching between activities. Stewart et al., 2013. This could be due to greater neural efficiency in the prefrontal cortex, which manages executive functions like attention and task prioritization. Detail: women's multitasking advantage may also relate to socialization, as they often juggle multiple roles, for example, professional, caregiver, household manager. However, chronic multitasking can increase stress and reduce efficiency over time, so this strength is context dependent. Implication: women's ability to handle multiple demands can be a professional asset but requires balance to avoid burnout. Number 9. Women have a stronger response to social rejection. Explanation: women tend to experience social rejection more intensely, with studies showing greater activation in brain regions like the insular and anterior cingulate cortex when facing exclusion. Eisenberger et al., 2003. This may tie back to evolutionary pressures emphasizing social bonds for survival. Detail: women are more likely to internalize rejection and engage in self-reflection, which can lead to higher empathy but also increased vulnerability to rumination or self-esteem issues. This sensitivity can make women more attuned to group dynamics but also more more affected by social conflicts. Implications: supporting women in navigating social rejection can enhance resilience and mental health in interpersonal contexts. Number 10. Women's memory is enhanced for emotional events. Explanation: women tend to have stronger autobiographical memory for emotional experiences, particularly those tied to relationships or significant life events. Canley et al. 2002. This is linked to greater amygdala activation during emotional memory encoding. Detail: for example, women are more likely to recall details of conversations, emotional interactions, or personal milestones with vividness. This may enhance their ability completely, also make women more likely to forgive or seek reconciliation after conflicts, as they vividly recall emotional details. Implication: the strength in emotional memory can deepen relationships but may also contribute to prolonged emotional processing of negative events. Important notes: individual variation. These facts are based on general trends and averages from research. Not all women will exhibit these traits, as personality, culture, and environment play significant roles. Avoiding stereotypes. While these findings are grounded in science, they should not be used to stereotype or limit women's potential. Psychological traits are influenced by both biology and environment, and individual differences are vast. The data, facts, and information discussed in this video have been sourced from publicly available online resources.